It's time to take A Therapeutic Dose, a prescription-strength reality TV podcast that explores the intersection of reality TV and therapy. Possible side effects may include entertainment, strong emotional reactions, and/or laughter. Here are your hosts, Ramona Ramirez and Margie McGee.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to A Therapeutic Dose, where we meet at the intersection of reality TV and therapy. I am Margie McGee, and with me, as always, is my dear friend and co-host.
Hi, Margie. Hi, everyone. I am Ramona Ramirez. It is lovely to see you.
Likewise.
This day after the season 13 first installment of the Beverly Hills reunion. Yes.
Yeah.
Before we start, I want to put out a request for you, a loving request to please rate, review, subscribe. It helps us so much. This is going to be our 39th episode. Margie, we've been doing this almost a year.
God, we're
It's
almost
kind of
40.
wild. I know. Oh my God, we're almost 40. We need a big party. We need a party next week. Wait, is this our 40th episode?
No, I think it's 39.
It is a 39? Right. Okay. So yes, please rate, review, subscribe. And I also want to say I have no idea why my audio has sounded like I have been recording inside of an aluminum room for the last 2 episodes. So I went back to my old setup. I hope it sounds great. If, lest anyone think that I'm okay with the way that my audio sounded, Margie sounded great. Mine sounded
last
terrible.
week, but the week before, I sounded like I was in a tinfoil room. So it's just, we're figuring it out.
We're figuring it out. We're figuring it out. But just so you know, if things come out, if this podcast comes out and it does not sound top quality, just know that I'm fucking bummed about it on the other side. Like, I'm not out here trying to put out stuff that sounds bad, because that is
not for lack of trying.
It's not for lack of trying. Last week, I went through my take 2 fucking times, and it was an all-day/all-night endeavor. And so, but just know that bad audio is my worst podcast nightmare. It's made me turn off podcasts before. So thank you for bearing with it. Thank you. If you turned it off, I get it. But hopefully this week, everything will be worked out. That's it.
Should we just touch on Bravo News and cocaine and Leah and Kathy Griffin?
This week in Bravo News has been it's just coming and coming. It's relentless. Explosive.
And also not, because didn't we know that Andy gives everyone cocaine? And I guess I'm sort of confused by this lawsuit. I'm like, what workplace doesn't have cocaine? Don't work in entertainment, don't work in finance, don't work in the law. What do you really—
Don't work in finance?
I'm serious. Everyone, I don't understand
don't
why
work
people
in tech.
think. And also, am I really to believe that Leah can't handle a workplace where I just don't understand what this lawsuit is. It seems very whiny, and maybe there's no I'm trying to grab onto the believe women part of it, and I'm just not seeing it. It's I get, but they didn't ply you with alcohol. You don't have to say yes to that.
No.
Unless your job really is on the line. I'll be curious to see the evidence of that. If you don't drink, you're not going to be on the show anymore. Is that what was happening? Because then it's okay, that's in alignment with if you don't touch my dick, you lose your job. But otherwise, This just feels like it's an environment that's not healthy for you to work in. So find a different workplace. The only workplace I've ever heard of that doesn't have drugs and alcohol, that doesn't have drugs, is when my sister was an Episcopal priest. But you better believe there's still alcohol in that bitch. There was a whole cheating scandal with the
wine
rector.
in an Episcopalian church?
There's wine every Sunday, yes.
The blood of Christ is there too? Okay.
They always say wherever you find 4 Episcopalians, you'll find a 5th. A vodka or whatever, So, but my point is I just don't see how this lawsuit was filed, how it's going to actually go to court. It just seems... It just seems like they're trying to tattle on Andy Cohen. And I don't think any of us are shocked that Andy Cohen does cocaine. I don't care.
I don't think anyone's shocked that Andy Cohen does cocaine. I don't give a shit what consenting adults do in their private time.
And he didn't force them. He offered.
No. Yeah.
Kathy Griffin's he offered it to me twice. And it's ooh, you're an adult and you said no. Right. What is the drama? I just am I'm at a loss.
And plus, I don't think he's technically their boss. He works for Bravo, but he's not their boss.
I mean, I could
Plus
understand not wanting to let Andy down. I could understand how it would be
sure,
uncomfortable to report him. But again, there's like nothing really to report. This isn't a unless they want to change the rules and make this like a workplace where HR is front and center, everybody sits down and the rules are clear. If anyone offers you drugs, you report them or it's against the law. Like, you know what I mean? It just feels like this is a
totally,
real loose world.
totally.
And if you ladies
Yeah.
need it to be something else, then take some action and change the rules. Don't just like whine about it and tattletale on Andy Cohen. I don't know. I feel like a bitch. I feel like some sort of anti-feminist
No,
by being so mad about
no, I
this,
I
but
hear what you're saying. This is really it's nuanced, it's gray. I do better with nuance than I do with gray. Gray is one of the stickiest, most uncomfortable places for me to be. I'm sure I can speak on your behalf with that too. It's like I know that in certain states, substance abuse disorder, which can be called alcoholism, it can be considered a disability, and you can collect disability benefits while you are recovering or getting some continuous sobriety under your belt, which I think is great. So when I look at it from that standpoint, um, when it's looked at as a disability, I can almost make sense of her lawsuit. But when she didn't get sober until her subsequent seasons, like after Tiki Torch season and the season where they went to, I don't know, did they go to Montauk or something where she threw the squid ink at Ramona? I don't know. Right.
the
The one where the
ravioli.
martini guy with the sweater, like the meme guy was all,
Mhm.
"Ooh, what?" Um, she knows what goes into it. And no, no one should have to leave a job they love. No one should have to leave a job where they're making money to support their families and being able to afford their homes. But at the same time, she knows what's going on.
Well, and
So
it's not a
I don't
workplace
I don't know.
where, like, alcohol and drugs are strictly prohibited. Like, when I sign contracts and go to a workplace, I am told with no question that I'm not to show up drunk, I'm not to drink on the job. I can drink
Right,
socially after, but whatever. This is
right,
not that. Like, or if they
right.
want it to be that, then take some action to make that change. And if that change
Yeah.
doesn't happen, then you need to find something else to do. Like, I don't
That's
know.
that's how I feel too. I could be missing something completely, and
Maybe there'll be something worth
yeah,
looking at in the documents, but
yeah, but it is, Brandy Glanville is 10 kinds of fucking foul. Leah, I'm not sure. Y Yeah, I guess I need more information before I can make, like, an affirmative, "Yes, I stand behind this," or "No, this is absolute bullshit." I still it felt kind of it's so hard to not think of all of these things as being hella opportunistic.
for sure. For
Yeah,
sure.
and it's just I don't know. But so Kathy I didn't even know Kathy Griffin came out and said something in defense of this
She's
lawsuit, which is what it sounds like.
Well, she said something years ago, if memory serves, that like Andy Cohen does cocaine and everyone clutched their pearls for 2 seconds and then went on with their lives because who cares? But then she showed up again in like an Instagram post saying, like, I did Watch What Happens Live twice. And in a room, outside of the studios, Andy Cohen offered me cocaine twice. And I said no. And nothing happened. Like, who cares? It just is like, that is so and again, it's like it's in terms of what we talk about on this podcast, it's like, what is your part? Your part is either not pitching a fit in the moment because it's so offensive to you, or your part is that you went back more than one. Like, what? Where's anyone's personal responsibility in this? Like, this just isn't. They're treating it at the level of infractions that are like really serious and really personally damaging.
Right, right.
And this just seems like you don't like that work environment. I didn't like being a waitress.
I
So
know.
eventually I worked my way out.
I know. Yeah. I didn't like making balloon arches in high school. It terrified the shit out of me because I don't like the sound of popping balloons. I quit that job.
Mhm. But isn't that, and that's the thing, and they were saying, oh, I've been listening to Rachel Goes Rogue, her stupid
Oh my
podcast
God. Thank
that
you,
is
Margie, because I
somehow,
have not.
oh, it's 17 minutes long, this week's episode, and I turned it on and it felt like I was listening for a lifetime. I was
Oh
like,
my God.
this is the most boring, slow thing. But anyway, she was talking about how, like, well, we don't know how reality TV affects people when they grow old. And I'm like, yes, we do. You weren't alive for it, but I watched The Real World. I watched The
Uh,
Hills. I watched
yeah,
like, what are you talking about? Kristen
I've
Cavallari
been
is
watching
doing
the
great.
right.
She's dating a 24-year-old model. She has a jewelry line. Nothing's the matter. It's you have to take care of your own life. And Rachel, having emerged from 3 full months in inpatient rehab, this is what you come out with, is just blame me, blame me, blame me. Just
That's
don't have a
weird.
podcast. Don't talk
That's
about
weird.
reality TV. Like, don't do this anymore if you're so concerned. Anyways. And
I
I
mean,
think she's angling to get back on. Anyways, go ahead.
oh, yeah, I wonder. Are they they're completely done recording this season? Like they can't, I mean, they would pick cameras back up
Yes, but
if,
no,
yeah.
I think they're done with this season. But she's saying things like, well, like, of course I needed to take a season away because blah, blah, blah. Whereas before she was like, I'm never going back. It's so toxic. Nah, nah, nah. And now she's starting to, like, her language is
She's all,
changing. It's
would I
okay
go
to
on
love being a
Traitors? Right,
reality TV star. It's okay to love
right,
that. But
right.
it's also like, if you're going to go into the military, you got to understand you're going to handle a gun. You know what I mean? Like, don't go into the
Yeah.
military if you hate combat. I don't know what to
Don't
say.
make balloon arches if you can't stand the way balloons pop. That's
Thank
the way it
you.
sounds. Yeah. Yeah, dude. I follow that Instagram account, Bachelor Data. I don't know what credentials she has, but they're obviously like math or statistician based. I guess I could look it up, but if I open Instagram right now while we're recording to look up what she is, I'll get in a vortex. I need tunnel vision as someone with ADHD. I did take my medicine at an ungodly early hour, so it's had time. I feel like I can pay attention. My point is, she had a post that said, "The Bachelor has been on TV since 2002." And a little part of my soul, it just like went in the corner and kind of hit its face, like in some shame, because I have watched every season since 2002. And I didn't watch Bachelor Pad, but I can't even say I didn't watch it like in its entirety. Like I would have it on in the background, I would turn it on and just be like, this is fucked up. They're throwing eggs at someone's ass because they've decided that she's the least attractive in the bunch. That was 10 kinds of fucking foul. That was emotionally abusive. But my point is, Rachel, if I'm to believe that, it's like the only thing that it's gotten me watching The Bachelor for oh my God, 22 years. I'm mortified. Don't
Don't
look at me. I'm
be.
hideous. I'm
No,
kidding.
Ramona, that's the whole point of this podcast,
I
is that
know.
there
I
is no
know. You're
shame in
right.
reality TV, that it is
You're
not
right. You're right.
trash. It's a
You're right.
teaching
You're right.
tool. Of course, you've watched 22 years of it. And of
Yeah,
course, yeah, our reactions to what we see has changed over the years because we've gotten more mature and more mentally healthy. And
which
yeah.
is normal attention fucking PK.
Hmm.
People grow and change over 20 years. Hello. But yeah, it's like, and watching Housewives has only made me see how it's possible to look like 20 years younger than you are if you have a fuck ton of money. A. B. In my wildest fantasies, I would love a living room size closet with a full on seating area, plush carpet, chandeliers, shelves for days. I don't need it to be mechanical. I think that's kind of cheesy. I don't need to lift shit down with a goddamn rod. But if I had a space of my own where I could look at my shoes and my handbags and my clothes and my jewelry would be out and I could pack and I could have speakers put in, oh, like, whew. That sounds good. That's what I've gotten from watching these shows, and miles and years of entertainment and things to talk about. And it's fucking fun. These shows are so fucking fun.
And it's a study in human behavior. Like, I
Yeah.
stand by that. Like, I don't encounter a ton of people like the ones I see on reality TV shows. So it's interesting to learn
True.
about a different community. Um, I'm not going to ever be on MTV's The Challenge. I hate heights and I don't like to be cold. And like a lot of their challenges happen at great heights and overnight in cold
Ugh.
places. So,
Going into a
anyways,
coffin full of spiders,
oh God,
I don't think I could do it. Okay, I
no.
just got the creepies. Anyway, and then okay, so Brandy's lawsuit came out this week, or was that last week?
I think it was this week.
Yeah, it was like they just kept coming hot and fast.
And is Leah attached to Brandy's lawsuit or is that separate?
Oh,
I think it's
I
separate
I'm pretty sure it's separate.
because
Yeah.
Brandy's is just like, he said something sexual on the phone one time. And it's like, have you watch What Happens Live? His whole life is like objectifying bartenders and,
Okay. She has fucking balls too, because she was the one that went on Watch What Happens Live those many years ago, and she talked shit about Joanna Krupa, and Joanna sued her, which frankly I completely understand why. So again, full fucking hip, Brandy, full fucking hip. If she is was a legitimate oh God, see, I don't get to make a call on what's a legitimate victim. That's not for me to make. And her reputation should not influence how I feel about the lawsuit she filed. And yet, I have a preconceived notion and judgment about Brandy, as I know a lot of us do because she's fucking Brandy. But it's like, do I get to say? Do I get to say
Well,
that?
it's just hard to
I
believe
don't
that
know, but
she
it's
was
hard to,
offended when the
yeah.
reason this lawsuit, it seems the timing of this lawsuit is curious because it's happening on the heels of her being seemingly rightfully accused because it's on camera of sexually assaulting someone. So for her to say like I was offended by a sexual comment that if you again have ever Watch What Happens Live, which is on 4 days a week like for years now, it's if you're going to have a conversation with Andy Cohen, you should expect someone to be objectified. That just is sort of in his nature.
I mean,
And again, if you don't like that, then don't be friends with Andy. Like, I just don't understand how this is a lawsuit. It just makes me feel like it just is so, just like handle your shit interpersonally, handle your shit in therapy. The expense and the time that goes into a lawsuit is, oh my God, that money could be so much better spent on real problems in our city. I'm
I
just like,
mean, yeah,
guys,
and Brandy is also claiming how much she needs to hustle. So let me ask you this,
we
because you
all
come from
do. Cry me a
a
river,
family of
Brandy.
lawyers.
Welcome to being
Right,
an adult.
exactly. Welcome to
Sorry.
being an adult. I'm sure have you seen that latest T-Mobile commercial that has all the like fucking A stars in it? I think Bradley Cooper's in it.
With his mom. Yeah.
I looked at Josh when we saw it the other night. I'm like, that's the strike. That's the fucking strike right there. They're making money. They're making probably a fuck ton of money that they didn't make for 5 months, taking jobs away from the actors that need to work a certain amount of hours in order to keep their health insurance. I know I'm speaking to the choir, but that's the strike. Like, I know everyone needs cash. Like, I get it. They need to pay everybody. They need to pay their team and their mortgage and their rent and but I don't know. I feel like, I don't know. Brandy is, I don't think that Brandy is, I don't know if Brandy has any business doing this. You know what? I just need to shut the fuck up. Like, who cares? I'm not saying anything new that people haven't said all week.
No, I mean, I just don't. I don't know if she has any business filing a lawsuit. Like, I think
Right,
that's sort of
right.
my
Yeah,
bottom line.
right.
Is
I
I
don't know if
kept
she does
reading through
either.
these articles trying to like get traction on like what is the problem, and it just seems like all of a sudden she's bothered by things that have been going on for decades that she profited from. And now that she's in trouble, she's like, "Ah, well, he did it too. He did it first and he's in charge." It's like, but you're an adult too. Anyways, you get it. I'm
He's
just
also
talking in
never
circles.
on fucking set when you guys are filming these shows.
No, but I do believe there was
Ever.
some talk about how the women who accept his offer of drugs are favorited, and that's fine. I get that.
Um,
but I also don't know if that's a lawsuit. Do you know what I mean? It's just like,
No, I
again,
don't
I've
think
been
it's
in
a lawsuit.
workplaces where like the guys who play golf with the boss, like their jokes get in the script more. Okay, if I need to play golf, like I'll learn if it's really that important to me. Otherwise, I'll just like
Right.
do my job. And like, I don't know. I don't know. I can't. Everyone, maybe it's just like in the Bravo universe right now, like, and it happens in this reunion too. Everyone insists that they're the victim. Everyone. And it's
Holy
like,
shit.
we all are.
Holy shit.
Everyone's a victim. But as they say in Al Anon, there are no victims, only volunteers. At a certain point, if you keep putting yourself in the same position, you are volunteering to be a victim,
Bruh. Bruh.
right?
Yes. So, yes, you come from a family of lawyers,
I do.
powerful lady lawyers, and I fucking love it. What would make a lawyer take this case?
Money, 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 money. It's like
But I
ambulance
mean,
chasers.
if like,
It's
I mean, like, do they think it's gonna happen? Do they think that it's
I think there's plenty that just don't give a shit. I think there's a crop of lawyers that will take I mean, and I'm sure these are top lawyers that charge, hundreds, high hundreds of dollars per hour.
I
And they
mean,
bill every hour, every minute, every fraction of an hour you are paying them. And, you know, if they want to keep their like yachts and verbo lifestyles or whatever the fuck, like people love money. So
they do.
and also it's easy work because it probably won't go to trial. It'll either be thrown out or it'll be mediated and a small settlement will be reached. And this is
And what
just for the sake of embarrassing Andy Cohen.
oh,
It's not gonna go to
God.
court. Nobody's gonna
And
litigate.
relevance. Holy
Yeah,
shit.
nobody's putting
Holy
Kathy
shit.
Griffin on the stand to be like, "And how many times did he offer you cocaine? And you took it no times? Okay." It's like, it's a waste of everyone's
And
time.
this is the thing, this is the other thing too, which just kind of when you're talking about cocaine, it's like I'm just going to say this. If I go and watch what happens live and I do a shot ski and then I'm also sitting and I'm nursing a cocktail, I'm going to be hated off my ass. But alcohol is served at restaurants. I can go into a market and buy it. I can go to a fucking corner store and buy it. It's if I have a drink in the middle of the day, it's like gonna be a fucking sweatshirt you can buy on Etsy. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it is so acceptable. And yet, cannabis and cocaine and for sure psychedelics still have all of this stigma attached. And yes, I understand that cannabis is legal in some states and in some states it's not. It that just you know how I feel about that. Decriminalize cannabis 100%, legalize it. I don't know. You drive and you could end somebody's life or you could end your own life when you drive under the influence of alcohol. So, unless these people are going on saying, "Well, I got so fucking drunk that I don't remember what I said," or "I couldn't drive after," or "I passed out when I got home," why are you talking shit about cocaine being offered to you? Is it just because it's illegal? Is that it?
Well, and also it just didn't come with any threat. If unless Andy Cohen said, "If you
Right.
don't do this
Right.
cocaine, you're never coming on this show again. I'm not paying you for this appearance. I'm gonna shit talk you." There's no threat. Someone made an offer and someone said no. And like that to me is just like that's life. A lot of I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, I just
Yeah.
can't
That's
I can't
wild as
get
fuck.
outraged about this. Like I think what's on my mind is that remember the Bachelor in Paradise lawsuit where there was like excessive drinking going on and there was a sexual
Yes.
assault.
And
And
no
that
one could
felt
enthusiastically consent. Right. Right.
right. But it felt like worth shutting the show down, having
Right.
discussions about it, because there weren't any guardrails in place. And then they put guardrails in place. And it hasn't happened that we know of since, And I guess that was a real problem. This is just like you're not having easy work anymore, Brandy Glanville. Like you're not getting an easy paycheck. And so now you're
Jesus
just pitching a
Christ.
fit through the legal system. And that bums me out.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Mm. Yeah, and again, I want to stress we're not asking for perfect victims. There's no such thing. There shouldn't be such thing, but Brandy is.
And I'm
Oh, I
not
sound like
even saying
Sutton.
she's
Excuse
not
me.
victimized. I'm just saying
Right.
this is the kind of victimization that I would imagine could be addressed in therapy and not in the court system because it's expensive and it's time consuming and it just feels intended to embarrass Andy Cohen and like good luck.
I was just gonna say, like, I don't know if you can. I don't
He's
think you can
reclining
embarrass
in
Andy
his like
Cohen.
Hamptons deck right now being
Right.
like who
In his
cares?
in his, in his beautiful apartment when when he's having another one across the street, like, rehabbed and custom built. Yeah.
Good for him.
I mean, he's got fuck you money, dude. I mean, what would we do without Bravo? So many
I
things we would not
yeah.
be doing without Bravo. I'm okay with it. I'm
Yeah.
okay. I'm okay. Whatever. Oh, God. And, here's the thing. We're talking about this so much because it is so hard to watch a reunion and take notes. And also, because it's so much easier when things are, at least for my brain to process, when they're parsed out into little duo or trio snippets, like in a regular episode. But this one, it was just like everyone is coming in hot and bothered. Not a good way.
Ugh.
Shall we?
Yeah, let's
Should
get
we?
started. I
Let's
mean,
do
we'd
it.
start at Culver Studios with Kyle palming
Mm.
crystals to help her with anxiety and stress. And Garcelle sages her trailer, praying for positive energy and everybody speaking their truth. And then Avi, this was the one time I didn't like Avi when he's yelling at Sutton, saying, "No crying today, no crying, strong Sutton." I was like,
Yeah.
Avi, don't perform, just be Avi. You're so cute when you're just you.
Also, like, normalize fucking crying, dude. Like,
I
cry.
know.
It's fine, for Christ's sake. I have to say that, when I saw the crystals, and I think Garcelle was burning Palo Santo,
Oh,
and the only
sorry.
reason why no, please do not apologize. I'm not 100% sure, but when I saw it, it looked like Palo Santo. All I wanna say is that I hope that it was I c I wouldn't be me if I didn't say this. I really hope it was ethically sourced Palo Santo because it became so popular with, like, the woo-woo Earth Cafe goop crowd that, uh, the indigenous people that use it legitimately in ceremonies that they've had for years and years and years, couldn't access it. So, when I've purchased it in the past, it's been ethically sourced. I also live in the Bay Area. I also will shut the fuck up right now. I know that not everything has to be a goddamn lecture. I apologize. This is who I am. My point is, when I went to LA last year, when my aunt was in the hospital and I wanted to be with my family and I wanted to go see her, I packed my little rose quartz heart that I had gotten in Sedona, which made it extra crystally because, of all the vortexes there. The vertex? The vortex. Vortex. The
I don't know.
vortex is vorti? Anyway, vortexi? Doesn't matter. And so I could appreciate that. Listen, anything that you can use as a coping skill to get you through a moment that you feel you need a little emotional support, as long as it's not something that's hurting you or others, do it. Like when I felt my little quartz heart, rose quartz heart, and the rose quartz, I think, means you like stay on your own side. It helps you remember who you are. It helps you remember to love yourself. It helps you stay in your self esteem. And it's like, I need all of the guarding I can get when I am with my dad. And I knew I was going to be with him all day, every day for a few days when we were all at the hospital. And so when I would reach my hand in my pocket and feel it, it gave me a physical stimulus change because it was smooth and cool. And it also helped me like remember, even for a split second, like stay on your own side. You're okay. You are a grown up. You have tools to help you navigate this relationship in these couple of days. I don't think there's only so much the crystal can do. You have to show up and do the things. The crystal isn't going to magically make you have a high self-esteem or make me feel like I'm shrouded in protection or whatever, but it was a good tool. I'm sorry. I just went off on that for way too long and
No,
that
I agree. I mean, it can't hurt, and if nothing else, like with everything that people dismiss as woo-woo, it's like maybe, but what it does is it grounds you and centers you. So like people, I just talked to
Right.
a friend who had like a Reiki session that wasn't even like on the phone or online. They just said it, the woman said at this time, lay down. And she said she's going through a really challenging time. And she's like, for whatever reason, it felt like someone was holding my head. And when it was over, I felt like calm and centered. And I was like, who cares if it was the Reiki or just that you like paid
Right.
money to sit still, feel your feelings, trust that maybe you're being cradled or you know what I mean? Like even if it's
Yes.
all psychosomatic, who cares if it
Yes. Who
works?
cares? Who
If
cares
that's
if it
what reminds
works?
you to
Right.
like keep your anxiety and stress at bay when you walk into the situation, then like palm your poo-colored crystals. They were such an ugly color. It was such a bummer, but
Oh, I thought they were so pretty. I
they
thought
were
they were
like,
like really pretty amber. I
oh,
liked
maybe
them.
amber's the word.
They
I'm
look like
such a
a
child.
smoky. No, no, they were like a smoky. Yeah, I thought they were really pretty, and
They probably are. I
they
was
were
just a baby
massive.
and I
But
was like, it looks like you're holding
no,
two
and it's
poos.
also fucking Kyle, so it's
Right.
real easy to be like, you suck, Kyle. We learned that this has been one of the hardest years of Anna Marie's life. Make stupid fucking choices. What do they say? Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. I don't know. Don't fucking like Candace Owen, who is a transphobic at best, and you put your life on TV and then not expect people to call you out on your hatred and your bullshit and, take you to task for who your husband is, take you to task for being pumped that he calls you an 8.5. I don't know what to say, lady.
I mean, at this point, I felt the same way. I was like, oh, fuck off, Anne-Marie. And then in the course of the reunion, I was like, oh, her mother died suddenly. She had a cough. They went to the doctors. They found a massive tumor and she died.
Oh,
And
God.
Andy was so generous in saying, like, and you didn't bring this was all going on during filming. And I'm like, no wonder we felt disconnected to you. Like, my
Oh.
astrologist always says the most personal is the most universal, like when talking about like working on creative projects. And I just felt like you didn't give us anything personal, Anne-Marie. And so all we had was you crawling up Kyle's ass or like bitching about the difference between anesthesiologist and nurse anesthetist. Like, if you'd let us know that your mom, like, everyone's going to go through that if they haven't already. That would have been really interesting to see you manage that while getting to know a new group of friends. That's fucking relatable. But I'm with you. When she first said this, I was like, get fuck off.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, you were hiding something like really relatable and, you know, and weirdly, Kyle was going through grief. That could have been an interesting thing to bond you instead of just like hating Dorit
Oh,
or like it
God.
just was such a
I
wasted opportunity.
totally. You're right. And I can't help but think, this is again like, you're so kind. I blew over that. I blew over that because my
She
bias
blew
against
over it.
her.
That's fair.
Okay. Oh, okay. Thank you. I'm all,
Yeah. She spent like 16 episodes not telling us anything.
you're
And
right.
then
You're
all of a
right.
sudden it's
You're
like, oh,
right.
well, that would have been, you're on reality TV. Like that would have been a really, I don't know. I would have liked to see
Also,
that storyline.
you're on reality TV. It's your job, I would say. Now, if I was a real housewife of Oakland, I would be talking about that stuff, which is why I'm not a real housewife of Oakland. A, they don't have that franchise. B, I'm not rich enough to be a fucking real housewife. C, I would have to think long and hard if I was willing to put it all out there, or at least 95%. I don't know if I'm willing to do that. But if you sign that contract, that's what you got to do, right?
I mean, with
On these
something
shows?
like a parent death, it just doesn't seem like I understand if there's like personal things like her husband's situation. I can imagine her not wanting to address that on the show, but you wouldn't have to. You could skirt right around that by going through something really relatable and really relevant. And but instead you were just
Human.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
instead you're just yelling at Crystal and telling
And Sutton.
Kyle that like I just was stupid. Anyways.
So stupid. And I can't help but think that this is, the reason why she didn't do that is because she just is so concerned with how she comes across. I mean, who among us isn't? Like, again, that's another human thing that we all share. Human thing. That's so eloquent. It's another human thing we all share. Like, I'm sure there's a better way I could have said that. Why am I being so hard on myself
I
this
don't
morning?
know. What's going on?
I don't know. I could fucking cry right now. Like, why am I apologizing for myself? This is really whack as fuck.
I went to an
Okay.
Al-Anon meeting last night, Adult Children of Alcoholics meeting, and the whole it you read from this literature, and the whole reading was about, self-criticism, and that's just like
Mhm.
it's a survival tool when you grow up in that household, and it just
Oh,
becomes like a default brain pathway, and it takes a lifetime to, undo it. But look at you. You just acknowledged that it was happening and that it doesn't necessarily have any basis in reality, and so
no.
now you can make a
Oof.
different choice because nothing's the matter. Nothing you're saying is, I'll tell
You're
you, I'll
right.
raise my hand and say, like, you're out of
Okay.
line. But
All right. All right. Man, I feel it in my
yeah,
throat. Like, I feel it. I feel it. It's tight. I'm gonna take a deep breath. Another one. I'm gonna do one more if anyone wants to join me. Okay.
a
Hmm.
little grounding rose quartz
Easy.
energy.
A little route, ground. Yes. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I don't need to keep going, but um, I think she tries to cultivate an image and a persona, and yeah, it just didn't. It didn't work. It
No,
didn't
she
work
burned her whole first season just being a
completely.
big nothing when there was
Yeah.
really something going on that would have been, interesting to watch.
When instead you could be like Monica and burn your whole first season, but actually make it thrilling slash newsworthy slash life giving, you know? Anyway,
Absolutely. I
anyway,
mean, yeah. And then I think next is Erica going to Dorit's trailer. Is that right?
that is a good question.
Okay.
Yes, it is. No,
It's the
it
last
is.
thing that, like, caught my
I
attention, or the next thing
yes,
that caught my
it
attention.
it is because I wrote down part of my note. I meant to go back and finish it and I didn't. I watched this episode twice
It's
and
hard.
it's
It's like a clip
still
show. It's
yeah,
weird.
yeah,
But this is
yeah.
just teeing up that, like, Dorit is pissed off at Kyle because Kyle made a comment that made headlines saying that Dorit has exaggerated her friendship with Kyle. And then Dorit gets like they showed the text on screen. She's like, Kyle has manipulated me and she's trying to silence me. And the text just said, like, I know we haven't talked in a minute. Um, this has been a really hard time and I'd love to discuss what's going on with us personally after. And it to me, it's like that you can say yes or no to that. Like you can still talk about it. Again, it's like the cocaine thing. She didn't threaten, like, I'm gonna kill you and PK. I'm going to tell all your fucking secrets if you bring anything up. She just said, I'd prefer not to bring this up. I don't want to lose another friend because of a reality show. And then Erica, Dorit cites Erica saying on Watch What Happens Live that if Erica had to be eviscerated on the reunion last year, then Kyle shouldn't be exempt this year. And I, in my head, was like, careful, Dorit, your year's coming. And Kyle, whatever. Erica's got eviscerated because of criminal act. I don't think Kyle
Criminal.
deserves to be eviscerated for her family coming undone. That's personal. There are children involved. It's not criminal. Dorit, careful, because I think something criminal is coming down the pipeline for her ass. So if you're so intent on people being eviscerated, fucking brace yourself, dude. In your like weird vagina hood dress, like your
Yeah,
time is coming.
yes, that that is the criminal offense here
The
in this
dress.
episode. I have a whole probably page and a half. We'll get
But it's
there,
fashion,
but
fashion, fashion.
she's wrong, and I finally figured out why.
Oh,
But we'll
good.
get there.
Great.
But yes, she does say she wants Kyle to be eviscerated, and I wonder though. It is weird though that like I know what it's like to be an adult child of an alcoholic. I know what it's like to feel terror about something being exposed and you can't control what it is. Not a situation that is unique to children of alcoholics. I'm just saying that the one thing I can relate to about Kyle is, or like, we're both brunette and we're both adult children of alcoholics. So I know what it's like to obsess about something and feel like you need to go to the ends of the earth to like manage the outcome of that thing or control the outcome of that thing. And so I can kind of understand where Dorit is coming from. Like, bitch, I don't hear from you for months, and then we're about to do this. I'm going to appeal to the parts of your heart that might still have space for me and ask you to not throw me under the fucking bus tomorrow. So I can see that. And
That makes sense. The way you said it makes sense. But saying like, "She tried to silence me." It's like,
yeah,
no, she
that was,
didn't. She
yeah,
did try to manipulate the part of your heart that might
yeah,
still be open to not,
silence me.
you know, it's just
She's
the
so,
most.
she's so far away from fucking reality, dude,
Oh god,
with
and
that.
this episode did her
Yeah,
no favors. Oh boy.
she none, not one. Um, the other crime that happened is Kyle's fucking hair. I don't know why this woman is so committed to reunion hair that is so wildly different from how she wears it throughout the season when we see her in paparazzi pictures. It's these weird like the PC fang bangs that come out. Like her hair at the last 2 or 3 reunions has been so like offensive to my eyes. It's like a 7th grade Sadie Hawkins dance kind of a vibe. I just get Claire's from it. Like I hate her reunion looks consistently. They are terrible. Her hair is terrible.
Yeah, as the
I
kids
have
say, you're doing
nothing
too much.
therapeutic to say about it, but yeah, it was bad. It was bad.
I mean, I thought
And
she
this
looked
yeah,
beautiful, but like I'm
the color
thinking
of her
back
dress
on
was
her.
gorgeous, but
Yeah, and I'm thinking
yeah.
back on her prior hairdos, and you're right, there are these, like, severe hairsprayed pieces coming down in front of her
And just
eyes, and
so
it's like,
much going
"Why?"
on. Like,
Yes.
I love an updo. I'm wearing one. I love a ponytail. I love a PC bang. I love it all.
Did you like
But it
Erica's hair? With the 2,
uh
like, curled
no,
no.
it kind of reminded me of Richie Rich.
Yeah, I thought she looked like a Klingon or
That
whatever those, like, Star Trek
or a
characters are.
fucking we represent the lollipop guild. She was like giving full sexy lollipop guild.
Mhm.
Oh my god.
She's built like a
Sexy lollipop
lollipop these
guild,
days. There it
full
is.
on. The next thing I have is Dorit's outfit. I don't have anything else but
Yeah,
Dorit's
no,
outfit.
that was the next
Oh
point of
god.
offense, yeah.
It was bad. Again, I'm gonna bring up my acting teacher from LA, and if I mean, I cannot imagine how much money I gave this man. I gave him so much fucking money for all the years I was in class, and listen, it was great, it was worth it. One of the things that will never, ever leave me is that when we were looking for monologues to audition with or, um, looking for a scene to do with a scene partner at a showcase or whatever, he would always stress, like, find the role that you wear, not the role that wears you. And you can apply that to everything. Dorit gets worn by her clothes all the time. She doesn't wear them. It's like, again, with the, oh my God, the look was just, it was an abomination. It was, I don't know what the fuck she was thinking. I don't know what the fuck she was thinking. It was like, she reminded, there's this soap that we grew up with called Maha soap. It's like, I don't know if it's a United States thing, but it's Spanish. It smells really good. It has this beautiful flamenco dancer with like the whole thing on like she did. But getting sewn into it to be late for that fucking mess. And I finally figured it out last night. She is so committed to fashion or what she thinks is fashion because she does not have a personality that is attractive. And I don't mean attractive in like a superficial way. I mean attractive like you want to get to know that person more. You want to be around them. Like I miss you, Margie, when I don't see you. Like I want you to be around me. I want to be around you. And that's how I feel with the majority of my friends. Obviously, obviously that's how I feel with all of my friends, you know? And she has this fucking unidentifiable accent to make her interesting, and she wears a sweatshirt that says 90s supermodel on it because she thinks that's going to make her interesting. Dorit, you are not interesting. You're not interesting. And you look ridiculous in your outfits because they aren't interesting because you don't have passion about them. I am co-MC for the 3rd year at my uh, kids' school's auction this Saturday night. The theme is Barbieverse, and the first thing I thought of to wear was a black leather 80s strapless dress so that I could do a riff on the 1959 Barbie who had the ponytail. One was blonde, one was brunette, and she wore that black and white chevron strapless bathing suit. Well, obviously, I'm not going to wear a bathing suit to fucking the gala, you know? Um, I guess I could, but like I'm not going to. But I was like, okay, I'll pay homage with a ponytail, a brunette ponytail. I'll pay homage with a red lip. I'll pay homage with a strapless thing. I'll pay homage with my nails. I'm wearing vintage white pumps that saw their way all over Sunset Boulevard when I bought them in 2003. They went to the Viper Room. They went to the Rainbow. They went to the Whiskey. They went all those places.
I know those pumps.
And
I remember those
I
pumps.
love these fucking pumps. I will never
Mhm.
get rid of them. Fuck whoever said no white pumps. They're the best. I love them. And they're now vintage to me because I've had them for so long. Which also speaks to you don't have to get rid of shit if you haven't worn it for 6 months. If you look at that thing and you are just like, oh, I love you. I don't even care if you're in my closet. I can't wait until I meet you again, friend. So my point is that like these, this, and this, I did this for the last 2 auctions. Like part of the fun for me is getting to like be creative with my outfit. Oh my God, I love to be fucking creative with clothes. That's why I love vintage shopping so much. I love it. Like it coaxes me up. Like I've been energized all week because I know that I get to play with my one of my favorite mediums this weekend, you know, like makeup, shoes, clothes. And wearing those white pumps makes me think of all the fun I've had in those white pumps. And it's like I get to wear a friend on my foot. I don't think that I don't think that dress was fucking Dorit's friend. Do you know what I'm saying? She
Yes.
has nothing. She has nothing. And that is why no matter what she wears or no matter what she does, no matter how I just cannot let go of that fucking leather jacket she had around her shoulders that I don't know what season it was. Oh my God, I'm like literally mad. I need to take another deep breath.
I don't remember
I
the leather
just
jacket.
her choices make me so like they give me it's because she's so contrived. She's not honest. There's nothing authentic about Dorit Kemsley. There's nothing authentic about her. And if there is something authentic about Dorit, please tell me what it is because I can't see it. I don't know what it is. That accent makes no fucking sense. Her clothes, on someone that really loves clothes and is really like, you know, she
I feel like
I
did
don't
you
know what else
watch the
to say.
Miami episode when I can't they were in Mexico City and Gertie came down wearing like a blue version of that dress that had the hood and it was like fully backless. And like I blinked, but I didn't gasp. I was like, "Oh my God." And she wore it like it was the way I wear a sweatsuit. She was so comfortable in it. It made total sense that she was going to wear this to like cathedrals or whatever their outing was for that day. And but then Dorit wears the same thing, and I spent the whole time like squinting at the TV, being like, "What is that? And what are you doing?" And like,
I mean,
what's
it
the
just
point?
like I was so glad every time I saw the little hair clip showing because I'm like,
Mhm.
we're seeing behind the scenes, bitch. We're looking behind, you know, pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. We're looking at the fucking facade. I see it. It's crumbling. It's not real. You need to be authentic and have a personality, and then you can go to the clothes. But like, you know, and you look fucking adorable in your sweats. Like every time you come visit, or every time I visit you, or when I lived in LA and I would see you, like your sweats are always so fucking cute and
I
make me
love a
want to run out and
sweatsuit.
get sweats. Me too. I love a sweatsuit. But yeah, she has nothing. I love watching Miami for the clothes. They all dress differently. They all have their own style. It's over the top, it's ostentatious, but it's authentic as shit. It's authentic to where they live, it's authentic to their personalities. No, none of them dress alike. None of them.
No, did you see their I didn't watch the reunion, but I saw them
No.
make their entrances and I was like, "Oh my It's exactly what
Yeah.
you're talking about.
Yeah.
Even Larsa Pippen, who I kind of can't stand, I was like,
Oh,
yes,
Larsa.
this look is like so Queen of Hearts. Like you are the
Yes.
villain and you're just leaning
Yes,
in. And
she had the headpiece on, right?
yeah, they like 3
Did
of them had giant
Yeah.
headpieces on.
Yes, I love
There
a
was a
headpiece,
crown,
dude.
there was
I
a
love it.
like, it was amazing. But yes, but
Yeah.
that felt I didn't look at it the way I looked at Dorit, and I didn't think like, "What is going on here?" I thought like, "Oh, wow, this choice is in alignment with who you are,
Right.
and I would never have known to pick this out in a store." So, good
And
job,
that's the
guys.
same it's the same thing with Heather Dubrow. I'm sure that in Heather's mind, she has the best clothing on her franchise. And I'm sure a lot of her fans and a lot of people just in general agree with her. And I will say that she is committed to her look. Like she knows how to rock a leather pencil skirt and a classically tailored top and a high-heeled pointy black pump. Like I get it. She knows her look, but it's still not original. It's not like I'm not maybe she feels passionate about her outfits, but I kind of don't think she does when she wore that what you said, her like little saddle shoe outfit to go fucking carve pumpkins that one day with her long ass skirt. Like it doesn't matter what label it is. If it's wearing you and you're not wearing it, you're not interesting and you're not real and you're not creative.
That's the truth.
It's 55 minutes into this podcast and we have not even sat down yet
I
on this stage.
mean,
Oh shit, y'all. Oh
it's
shit.
it is what it
Oh
is because there's
shit.
nothing really like there's nothing new that really happens. It starts with like the Kyle and Dorit package, where Dorit says she got stuck. Kyle, whatever. Basically, Dorit says she is annoyed by this notion that Kyle said something that they exaggerated their friendship. I don't even know. Kyle was pissed that Dorit had asked her on camera about what was going on with Mauricio. She was also pissed that Dorit commented on her relationship with Morgan, knowing that this would like blow up in the media and cause more attention to the things that Kyle's trying to keep under the radar. The whole thing was just like I don't know. It just there's nothing to resolve here. It's just like unless I missed something. I don't know. I just remember
I don't
hearing
think
Kyle say, like, "My real friends get up and work out. You don't work out." I was like, "What
that was
the fuck?"
insane. That
And I
was
took you on a
fucking
walk once and
nuts.
you had to sit on the cement. I was like, "Is this a friendship? Oh my
That
god."
is, I mean, I never went running with you. We hiked Runyon a bunch of times.
Yeah, and also
I'm not
I don't
fucking going running with you.
and you're
Uh-uh.
my friend whether we sit on the cement or, like,
Exactly.
run,
That
like,
too.
an Olympic track
That's
event.
the more important
I
part.
just I can't both of them
Yeah,
just seem, like, ridiculous and out of line. So
completely. Are we at the part where Kyle defends Erica being a good friend and
oh, yeah, that happened even earlier. Go ahead, sorry.
oh,
I blew right
no,
by
no,
it.
no. So it's interesting. Again, Kyle is an adult child of an alcoholic. I am an adult child of an alcoholic. I don't behave like Kyle. I have done a shit ton of work on releasing the behaviors that can come with being an adult child of an alcoholic. And if those behaviors and thoughts come up, like it did earlier in this podcast, where I was like, oh, I'm beating myself up pretty hardcore right now, like I'm aware of it pretty quickly. So I do believe with every fiber of my being, like put it on my epitaph, fiber of my being, that Kyle was saying those things. She was singing the praises of Erica Jane's friendship, loyalty, how she was there for her and she's trustworthy. 100% she was doing that to fuck with Dorit and manipulate Dorit and make Dorit feel like shit.
I'm sure
Because
that's true.
untreated adult children of alcoholics, especially the victim ones, they know how to be a dick while being a victim. They know
Mhm.
how to like hurt you while being a victim. And so she did it to emotionally punish, emotionally terrorize, and manipulate Dorit by going so like praising Erica's friendship so much. I'm
That was a
sorry.
weird moment.
It was so weird.
Yeah.
There's no way she wouldn't have shit herself. There's no way she wouldn't have shit herself if she and Erica weren't in a good place. There's no way she wouldn't have taken that eviscerate Kyle. Which did she actually say Kyle by name, or did she
No.
say that she wanted the rest
She
of the
said
cast? Right,
it should be yeah,
clickbait. Right. So the
right.
the headline was manipulated. Like There's no way that she would have let Erica slide with that one if she wasn't wanting to hurt Dorit.
Mhm.
That's
I
my
mean,
theory.
and also weirdly, she had a point that, like, it such a comment is more a reflection of Erica than it is of Kyle. You know, she's like, "That was about Erica and what she was going through and her anger at you, Andy. That wasn't about me." And I was like, "That's sort of true, and also everything that you just said." So, shall we move on to Garcelle's
Please, God.
segment?
Yes. Please.
So
Yes.
we just sort of relook at her relationship with her boys, and I thought it was interesting that she said she part of the reason she accepted a reality TV job is because it would keep her home more. And it sounds like their father does, like, no parenting, never talks to
Oh
them
my
about his affair,
God.
never talks to them about the divorce, sex, feelings, none of it. She says if they don't get it from me, they're not gonna get it anywhere else. And I was like, "That is a true single parent." Like, he
Right.
may
And
be
it broke my
around,
fucking
but,
heart.
like,
Right.
yeah, he's
Right.
not doing anything to
Oh my
support these
God.
kids.
They'll know. They'll know. They probably already do. But if not, they're going to know. They're going to know the older they get, if they choose to have children, they're going to see everything clear as day.
Yeah, but it's still
It's
sad.
so
Like, that's the
sad.
thing is,
Oh,
like, it
yeah.
doesn't matter, and again, this is all stuff I've worked on in therapy. It doesn't matter who's right and wrong. Like, it doesn't
Mm-mm.
matter. I'm just sad that certain things happen, and they will have to be too, and that's like, what a disappointment, that guy.
Such a
What a
disappointment.
disappointment.
It's such a disappointment. Like, what are you doing if you're not like, okay, I get it. I get it. If you're a parent, the bare minimum is you can hopefully afford to feed them and clothe them. That's my job is to keep my kid safe and to ensure that he is growing, you know? Oh God, what am I trying to say? I don't understand how you can be a parent and not recognize that your children's emotional coping skills and being honest and how do I explain this? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand parents that don't want to talk about feelings with their kids unless they think they're trying to protect them, but it's just harming them. Like, you're giving them skills to be able to
But it's
cope
to
as
protect
adults.
themselves. Like, he doesn't wanna
It
talk
is,
about
isn't
the
it?
affair because it makes
Yeah,
him look
because
bad
it
and
makes
feel
him look
bad,
bad and he
and it
feels
makes him
bad.
feel
You're right.
bad.
You're
Like, I
right.
think
You're
it's a
right.
lot of why my dad doesn't like to talk about anything that went left because it makes him feel bad. He
Oh
didn't
my God, duh. You're right.
I don't think he wanted to hurt anyone, but he did, and it was really bad. So he doesn't wanna talk about it because, like, why look head on at something that makes you so uncomfortable? So,
That's
but
that's way more accurate than what I just said.
no,
You're
who
100%
knows?
right,
I
you
don't
know?
know anything, but I just am I'm with you. I think those boys are lucky to have Garcelle as a
A
mom. Like,
100%.
she's, like, she's a busy working lady, but she is checked the fuck in, and they are her
She's so
priority
checked
with
in.
every decision she makes, and, you know, flowers for Garcelle.
100%, and she looked stunning last night. I
Mhm.
loved I loved her
Her
dress.
hair.
I loved the bob that was like, whoop, went up a
Mhm.
little bit and then got longer in the front. I see you, Garcelle.
And
I
the
think you're
bob was almost
stunning.
like it almost looked like ombre into the dress,
Oh
like the
my God,
color
it
of
was
the
so
hair moving into
beautiful.
the dress. She looked great.
I mean, that is authentic. Dorit she might have been a dramatic, striking thing to look at from a distance, but she's not authentic.
Everybody gasped in a bad way when she walked on the stage, and somebody even was like, "Mother Teresa." Like, it's just so not like didn't make any sense.
Did not
Speaking of
make no
Dorit,
sense.
then we rehashed Dorit's
Oh
ignorance and
boy.
unconscious Karen-ness, and it's all the same thing. I appreciated Garcelle saying, "This is my problem with Dorit. She takes things and then makes them personal, and then she becomes the victim." So Dorit, and as we go through this, like, Dorit has learned nothing. Her racism is just it's gotten worse, as we see with the child bride comment, and she's like, "Oh, they called Priscilla." It's just like, you are so disinterested
Mhm,
in
mhm.
figuring out, like, what the problem is, and I just she said at the end of this segment, like, I don't know all the words, as Garcelle said that the word attack was over the line. And she's like, well, I don't know all the words. You have to judge on character. And I'm like, no, that's lazy. Like, your character stinks. So educate yourself and change your behavior. And she gave me another opportunity to say that when she's addressing Crystal and the child bride comment. She's so defensive and so dumb and so wrong. Grr.
She's such a fucking racist ignoramus, dude. She's such a racist ignoramus. I know that's not breaking fucking news or anything, but,
No,
like,
but watching the clip back of the 4 of
it
them,
was
PK,
yeah.
Mauricio, Kyle, and Dorit
Mm.
laughing, a and I again, you'll love it. I was just like, "Oh, Kyle's an unforgivable nightmare because she's the one who brought it up on camera to laugh at. Did you hear what" It's like, all
If
4 of
someone
you have not appropriately apologized for this because
uh-uh.
every time anyone mentioned that, I would spend the rest of my life trying to make up for the degree of harm I caused by doing something like that, if I'd ever done something like that, let alone on camera.
If
Ew.
someone did that to Portia, if someone did that to Portia or her older daughters for that matter, I just chose Portia because she's still when that scene happened, she was still young, like, younger. I mean, she's 16, 17 now. Like, I don't know how old she is now, but she was 16 in this season that just wrapped. Kyle would have shat and cried, and it would have been, like, a whole season thing for her probably. Fuck
But
Kyle
the
Richards.
added element is the racism part. It's like, yes, any
100%.
harming any child, talking shit about any child is awful, but the experience of a 14-year-old child of color being cussed at by a drunk white woman at a party, there's just it's so loaded, and the fact that Dorit is incapable of looking at that is just, again, talk about disappointing. I was like, "Oh, man, you watched this whole season back, and here we are again. Boo."
I mean, honestly, there's, like there's so many books. There's so many books.
Well, and you
But
don't need a
by
book,
all
you have a
means
friend who is telling you,
right.
like, "This is harming me, and you're not letting me have my feelings." Garcelle said, "I just needed to have my feelings," and then she turned it on Dorit appropriately and said, "I wasn't singling you out. That's why I feel like when people are guilty, they take it on. Dorit, 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 Dorit." Dorit's so afraid of being a racist that she's being a racist.
All right. Yeah, I got nothing else to say. Stop expecting Garcelle to do your work. Say fucking sorry. Shut the fuck up. Just be quiet. Or you know what? Why don't you find fashion, Dorit? Why don't you find some fashion that includes something that covers your fucking mouth, but has holes cut out for your ears so you can listen to people. We're both mothers. I don't care. I don't relate to all moms. I don't relate to all moms just because we're moms.
I did think it was
Absolutely
interesting
not.
when Anne Marie piped up and she said, and
Me
it was
too.
true, that when Sutton was, accusing Anne Marie of yelling at her, Anne Marie wasn't yelling at her. And Anne Marie was right. Garcelle was sitting right there. But Garcelle's friendship with Sutton sort of overrode her interest in that moment of
Yeah,
saying what she had wanted, others to do for her. But Garcelle's also right in saying, like, you can take care of yourself. I took care of myself. You can take care of yourself. So,
that's true
like,
too. It's true
it's
too.
just a
I know.
no-win
It's
situation,
God. Oh God.
and it broke my heart when Garcelle said something to the effect of, like, having that attack label out there. She said, "When people meet me, it changes their perception of me," and I was like, "That's fucked, Dorit, you and your stupid dress."
Well, guess what, Dorit? I'm not a fucking racist. I call out racism, and my perception of Garcelle only grew to more respect and more empathy and more sympathy and more allyship. And my opinion of you, it tanked to subterranean levels that I didn't know I could drill down that fucking far to get.
She is uglier than her dress, if
She's
that's even
uglier than her
possible.
dress. Ah! She is uglier than her dress. Ding, 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 Margaret.
And Andy,
God
I
damn
thought,
it.
rightly said in Dorit's direction, he says, "In situations like this, sometimes it's better to listen and say less." I was like, "Yes, sir."
If Andy Cohen is saying that,
I know.
if
Oh,
Andy
God.
Cohen is saying that, Dorit, take a
And it
season off,
concluded with
dude.
Dorit asking, which I love, she asked Garcelle, she said, "Do you like me?" And I was like, "Oh, God, don't ask questions you don't want the answer to." And Garcelle answered, "Sometimes." I love her.
I do too.
It's great.
Authentic to the core, authentic
Mhm.
to the bone, authentic on her
Yeah,
side for life.
yeah, and she wasn't gonna lie just because she was in a situation that,
Mm-mm.
anyways.
Yeah, and then the bubble comments, like living in the bubble, she did double down. She did double
She
down.
tripled down.
Oh,
I didn't
fuck
know
that
she'd
bitch.
posted that third thing of like, the only people in my bubble are these people, and that's all I care about. It was like, oh my God.
She sucks so bad. She sucks so bad.
And again, I love Garcelle for telling the truth. Dorit said something like, "Did you really think I was posting those to put my middle finger up?" And Garcelle goes, "Yes." Like, yeah. And she was
Yeah,
like, "Oh, just mortally wounded." Just cannot look at what might have been offensive about that. Just cannot look at it.
so
It has
defensive.
to be Garcelle's fault. It has to be a misinterpretation of her really good character. You stink.
My nightmare is being defensive in a fucking terrible, god awful dress that is wearing me that I'm not wearing.
Then you lose on every level.
Dorit is my nightmare.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say if I'm ever like Dorit, tell me, but I'll never be like Dorit.
And I will tell
She
you if it starts
sucks.
coming up.
Right.
Then we head into this like let their freak flags fly package, which I just, again, I don't care about. Sutton's a driver with benefits. The only interesting part to me was when Andy asked Kyle what's changed, um, after, some pretty straight laced seasons. This season, she's scissoring with Dorit and talking about dating a woman. And Kyle, again, in an adult child of an alcoholic way, was like, I was raised by the book. I followed all the rules. And now my mind is opening to new experiences, including potentially dating a woman. So, in that moment, good on you, Kyle.
Yeah,
Progress.
absolutely. And all I had written down was like when, like I think any of them would date women. I don't think gender should be a consideration when you're considering like if you're attracted to them and they're nice to you. I I mean that would be I guess that would be like the bottom line criteria. I don't know,
Which
but
is why
it
it was
shouldn't.
so old school when Sutton was like, "And we would support you. We wouldn't judge you." I'm like, "That's something you say in the '80s. It's 2024. Of
Right.
course. The
Yeah,
assumption is
exactly.
you won't judge."
Exactly.
Oh my God,
Exactly.
Sutton.
I know. You're right.
Shut
You're
up.
absolutely right, dude. Oh, that's hilarious. That is so funny.
And then we're into
Crystal's
Amory.
Oh,
Oh,
go
sorry.
ahead,
No, go
sorry.
ahead. Go, go.
No. I the next note I have, I don't even know if I skipped over stuff. I could have, but Crystal says that Dorit hasn't seen a real body part in years, and I laughed my motherfucking ass off.
And
I
again,
did.
Dorit immediately defensive. Like, besides my boobs, what's fake? And it's like everybody sort of like was side eyeing, like your nose, your
Your whole
everything,
face.
your whole entire face,
Literally your whole
your
face.
cheekbones. Like, okay.
Your hair. I mean, like, and again, it's no judgment,
No, I
no
can't wait
shade
till everything on me is fake.
whatsoever.
I cannot wait.
Marby.
She's so blessed, and she has no sense of humor. I think that's just what is like exhausting
Because she
about
has no
Dorit.
personality.
Yes,
Because she
she's
doesn't know who she
that
is.
dress is hilarious. Her thinking that nobody knows that her body is like 90% silicone is hilarious. She's
We have
funny.
eyes. We've seen her yearbook picture.
I know.
Come on. I wonder how many people are going to go as Dorit for Halloween next year. I need to write that down. Maybe I'll go
Oh,
as
in that
Dorit Kemsley for
dress?
Halloween in that dress. Yeah. Because that was fucking terrifying.
It
Dress was
was.
terrifying.
It's good for the cold
Anyway,
weather because it has a hood, so
the next thing I have written down is Anne Marie's greatest hits are shown in flashback and the 8.5 conversation. My fucking God. My fucking God. This was the thing that I took from that, from the 8.5 conversation. Is there anything before that?
no. Mm-mm.
Okay. So I have never been one to subscribe to the notion that your spouse, partner, husband, wife, however you refer to your long-term person or your short-term person, whatever. I have never been able to understand the "they're my best friend" sentiment. I don't want my husband to be my best friend. Obviously, I want to be close to him. I want to have like raw, truthful, intimate, authentic conversations, and I want him to know me, body, mind, soul. But my relationships with my girlfriends, they run long and deep. And I talk to them about things and in ways that I don't with my husband because A, I don't think he'd be fucking interested in hearing what we all talk about. And B, it is completely okay that my husband not be everything to me. And that is, again, that is not a criticism on him. This is how I would feel in any romantic relationship. Like, I don't understand that. I don't want it and I don't understand it.
I had to learn that in therapy. One of the reasons I came into therapy is because I was fucking up a relationship I was in, and I like loved this person so much and I kept fucking up, and like the therapist, that's where I learned like you can't put that pressure on him to like be everything to you. And I was like, but I
Mm-hmm.
love him so much and he's so funny and I love talking to him and I love being around him. And she's like, that's great. And like it's a balance. And I still probably don't have a handle on that. Like I think my relationships have been like, I've considered those people like the best friend variety. Well, maybe not one, but most of them. Yeah, it's complicated, but it's never
Yeah,
like I learned early on in that first love relationship that I needed help with. I learned early on that like the balance is everything. Like,
totally.
yeah.
Totally. Net, there is zero point zero wrong with not being best friends with your
Well, I'm not going to be
partner.
best friends with someone who calls me an 8.5
Fuck
across
no!
the board.
Oh my
That is such a
God.
bummer. I don't want to tell that person anything.
Dude. Ew. Ew. I don't want anything that they have. I don't want nothing that they have. I don't.
No.
Anyway.
And then
Um,
she does mention the death of her mom, and then I felt sad for her. And then we get into anesthesiology gate, which is just, I mean, I think my takeaway, which I appreciated, is that Crystal said that she thinks Anne-Marie intentionally misrepresents her profession because people don't know the difference. I think that might be true, but
mhm.
I was interested to hear that, you know, the only difference between an anesthesiologist and a nurse anesthetist is like years of school, title, and pay. It sounds like they do the same thing, do. Because I've been, had procedures, and it is the nurse who anyways, the anesthesiologist comes to talk to you before the procedure, or in my experience, and then it's the nurse anesthetist who actually administers the medication. I don't know, who cares? Who cares?
Who calculates how much to give me so I don't die, but I don't feel pain, though?
Probably the anesthesiologist.
Like, that is, I cannot imagine. I mean, right. When you learn how much an anesthesiologist makes, you're like, holy shit. But it's like, too much, and you leave this mortal coil. Not enough, I'm going to be traumatized for life and never forget what it felt like to be operated on, and I can feel that shit. You know what I mean? Like, So when I think about it like that, I'm all,
Yeah, I don't know. That's the thing about this whole thing. Is like I don't think what I just I don't know. I don't think it shouldn't have been this big of a deal.
it
What
shouldn't have been this
Anne-Marie
big of a deal.
does is important work. It doesn't
Yeah.
come with the same responsibility as an anesthesiologist, because if someone gets sued for malpractice, it's them. So the
Yeah.
stakes are a little higher for them, but it doesn't mean your work is unimportant. And I was glad to hear Anne-Marie say that she hated watching it back, that she regrets her behavior. But she continued to lie and say, like, I didn't say she had an eating disorder. It's like, yes, you did.
You
And then
fully did.
you said Crystal said she had an eating disorder and she denied. Like, she's just
It's like it's
annoying to me.
on tape, you guys. Come on. The ruse is up. Yay, Sutton brought awareness to esophageal issues. That's good. It's always good. It's
Sure.
always good when people feel less alone in
Mhm.
their. Uh...
Alcoholism. Oh, sorry.
oh my God. I love you so much. Oh my God. That was amazing. Okay. Oh, Crystal. Here we go. She said that she had a really hard time this season watching everyone come back and being super, super skinny, and that it really triggered her eating disorder. It really did. Or the parts of her eating disorder that make her focus on that stuff. And boy, do I understand that kind of thinking. Hello, had it, years.
Yeah. And it was interesting to hear her say that the reason she was so outraged about Anne-Marie suggesting that Sutton has an eating disorder is because she has one. And as
Right.
someone with one, she was like, you don't just toss that around like it's, Sutton's wearing her hair in a bun and it's
Mhm.
like not the same.
It's not the same.
It's
It's
really
not the
damning.
same.
And especially if someone does have an eating disorder, it's
Right.
not, I don't have experience. This is not my experience, but it's similar. Well, but whatever it is, it's like being outed. Like, even if Sutton does have an eating disorder, and I think there's evidence to indicate she might, don't nobody else needs to tell
Nope.
anybody that.
That's not
If
for
and
any
when
right.
Sutton comes to terms with it and wants to say it, that's hers to say.
Right.
But having someone do that on her behalf was gross.
It was disgusting. It was
Yes.
unconscionable. And I wonder if it speaks to, like, eating disorders not being taken as seriously as they should.
I
That it
think
could just
it's
be, like, something you just, like, casually say or
yeah,
accuse someone or I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
I think so, because it's said so flippantly as if it's not like, uh, as they say, it's a slow suicide, like an eating disorder, like you're not gonna not die, it's just gonna take you a lot longer. So it's really
Yeah.
damaging and it's really
Robs you of
serious.
joy for sure.
Yeah, and it fucks with your system, like, it just is, it is a big deal, and it requires sensitive attention, and Anne-Marie, who is a doctor, just she knows better, and she chose not to do better. That's who she is, so she can apologize all she wants, but now you've, like, hidden the one story that would have been of interest to people about your mom's diagnosis and suddenly passing, and you've, I think Crystal said it, like, weaponized her place as a medical professional to harm Sutton in just like a shitty, thoughtless, careless way. So fuck
What do
her.
we expect from someone that likes Candace Owens?
It all
What do
lines
we
up, I guess,
expect?
doesn't
It
it?
all it all goes in that same package. Yep. Oh god, we haven't talked about Child Bride yet. Fuck. I'm never mind. Please,
No,
let's
I
Child
mean,
Bride it.
we touched on it. It's Crystal is confronted about calling the women shallow and uneducated. And I did love this. Andy asked Dorit why she was particularly offended. And Dorit goes, well, I think I'm the only one here with a college degree. And like everyone laughed. It's just like, first of all, there were apparently 3 other people on the stage who had a college degree. And God bless Garcelle for saying you don't have to have a college degree to be educated. So, like, eat shit, Dorit. And then Crystal said, I stand by calling Dorit uneducated because she made a comment about calling me a child bride. And the comment was, while you were busy getting married at 12, we were all busy building businesses and educating
Fuck
ourselves.
all the way off, Dorit. Fuck all the way off. And
Yeah,
if she's so educated, why doesn't she know she's being a fucking racist, unconscious Karen?
because,
She's so
yeah,
stupid.
she's an ignorant
She's
trash bag.
she sucks. And trust me, I am not out here saying that just because you're highly educated or have a college degree that you're not capable of being a real asshole racist, because clearly that makes no difference. But just to use her own bullshit against her. Ugh,
Well, and again, it's just she's immediately defensive when Crystal tells her that's extremely offensive because it has the same significance as mail order bride. Dorit says, well, they called Priscilla Presley a child bride, and everyone on stage groaned. And everyone on stage said, it's because she's Asian. And Garcelle just like
right.
sighed and was like, oh my God, this is what the problem is. And then
And
Kyle got
yeah,
defensive of Dorit. And she was like, well, to be fair to Dorit, whenever, it's just the number people choose. When everybody says someone was young, they say like, oh, she was 12 when it's like, what? Everybody
no,
stop it.
no,
Stop it.
no.
Just like, just, it
Oh,
was a
right.
microaggressive comment. It doesn't matter
Mm-hmm.
what your intention was. Your intention sucks. So learn something and try to change your behavior. It's so
Yeah.
ugly.
And Priscilla was legitimately a child bride. Like, she was
Yeah, and
fucking
that's
14.
gross.
Dude,
And
it's
that's gross.
disgusting. It's
Okay?
disgusting.
They didn't
100%
call her a child bride.
disgusting.
She was a child bride and it was gross.
Right.
So,
It was
what's your
foul.
argument here, Dorit?
Exactly. Oh,
Idiot.
God. Fully. Oh, my God. So Andy asks Kyle about, she's now like new Kyle, new and improved Kyle, or just new Kyle. And she's coping by compartmentalizing parts of her life or not being able to get on the couch. And I was all relatable,
I thought that
relatable.
was, and I do want to give Andy credit for he did a really nice job addressing grief. And I wrote this down with relation to Anne Marie. He asked her when Anne Marie said her mom had passed, he said, "What do you want to tell us about her? What do you want us to know about her?" And she couldn't answer because she was crying. And then he said, "What was her name?" And like that's such an important thing when someone's gone is to like have their name said. It's not
Yeah.
offensive. It's like really important to know that they existed, they're remembered. And I thought Andy did a lovely job with that. And here asking about after the death of Lorene, how Kyle's dealing with her grief. I just thought that was like a very sensitive, thoughtful question,
Yeah.
um, and specific to
Respectful.
grief.
Yeah.
And her grief process is totally relatable, like you said. Like she either dissociates to try to get through her day, or she has trouble getting off the couch because it's like and it's been almost a year now, and that's grief. Like
Totally.
it's crushing until it's not. Like, somewhere it says like that grief creates a hole and you have to like grow a whole new self around it. It's not like it ever goes away. You
God,
just
just
have to like
doesn't. Yeah.
create a new version of you that encompasses this grief now. And that takes a lot of
Mhm.
time. So good for Kyle for answering honestly.
Oof. Kyle and Dorit issues. Kyle says, like, "You dick rode for my fucking sister," and that wasn't fucking cool, and I agree.
Hmm.
And I can't help but think probably this is influenced, probably, because I can't stand this woman, but, like, Dorit is such a star fucker. She's such a fucking fame whore star fucker
For
that
Kathy Hilton, they all
for
are.
Kathy Hilton,
Sutton
of
is
all
like
the
they all will
people,
toss Kyle to the wolves so they can go to a Kathy Hilton event, you know?
can you imagine? Can you imagine? I can't imagine. I can't imagine wanting to be around that person who was
Yeah.
I mean, we don't need to go through all of Kathy's
Well, to me,
egregious shortcomings
and
and
it's just
offenses.
so unsatisfying for me. I understand, I guess I'm starting to understand that there is real gratification for other people in just being around that kind of tax bracket, I guess. But to me, it's just so hollow and sad. And like, unless there's something else going on there, then like just being seen in the presence of like an extremely rich person is like not, I don't know what, yeah, I don't know why it's worth throwing a friendship away.
I don't
So,
either,
and
dude. I
Dorit's happy
really
to do
don't.
it.
She continues to be Dorit. She dirty foots. She dirty foots constantly.
She's full dirty foot. And then
Yeah,
Kyle accuses Dorit of just wanting to be on the side of the audience. And Dorit tries, like, I don't follow what the audience thinks. It's like, yeah, you're posting on, yes, you do.
yeah.
Yes, you do. Stop being
Again,
defensive and
just
stop lying. It's annoying. And that's
I
the end of the first
yeah.
installment of this
I mean,
reunion.
net net, Dorit is being asked to pay for her bullshit, and she can't afford it. She can't fucking afford it. She's got no moral money
This is
to take
the
care of her
evisceration.
microaggression filled, ignorant, lack of responsibility taking debts.
Yeah, she really came
Bring
off
on
like
next
a
season. She's a
asshole.
tool,
Yeah.
100%. What else did you watch this week?
This week, I watched Love is Blind, and it's really good.
I can't wait to
Um,
start it.
it's really good and ridiculous, but it's great. And I watched The Bachelor, and I don't remember what happened. And then I watched Vanderpump Rules. Sandoval is just like absurdist theater at this point. He's just such a
That's the only way to
ridiculous
describe him at this
dope.
point. 100%.
Do you have
100%.
it reminds me of like I don't do you have any recollection of like probably 10 years ago? Now, Shia LaBeouf did this performance art piece where he put a paper bag over his head that he'd scrawled, I'm no longer famous or something like that. And then
Yes.
people would come in and read mean things to him about him. And his only response was, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It was called like the I Am Sorry Project or something.
Oh
And
my
to
God.
me, it's so pretentious and so
Forgot
pointless.
about that.
It defeats the whole purpose of what you're saying is true. You're making yourself famous by creating this spectacle and then saying like atoning by just saying, I am sorry to strangers with a bag over your head. Anyways, that's how I feel about Tom Sandoval. I'm just like, you are so disconnected from what you did. He still is just insisting that he's the victim and that James did it too. It's just like
God.
you
Oh my
can't.
God. Oh my God.
He
Oh my
had
God.
1 minute where he said sorry, but he didn't say what for, so I don't believe him. So, yeah, he's just a ridiculous. And when they were smashing the wall and he was
Oh my
saying like,
God.
"Worm with a mustache," it's like, too soon, you piece of shit. Too soon. It's not funny when you say it, and it only signifies how completely ignorant you are about how your disgusting cheating affected everyone. It's not just about you and Ariana. All of these people are suffering because you're a worm with a mustache. So, anyways.
Just like doing it in front of the people that said it. It was
Yes.
just so fucking performative and contrived, which is Tom Sandoval in a nutshell. So he's Tom Sandovaling,
He is. It's so sad.
but
There used
it's
to be some
uncomfortable to
like,
watch.
yeah, there used to be some like dopey innocence to him. And now, like, anyone can recover from a terrible fall, but he is just digging deeper and deeper and deeper. Like, oof, it's
I know.
ridiculous. He's ridiculous.
He's ridiculous. He's ridiculous.
What about you? What did you watch this week?
I also watched Vanderpump
Hmm.
because, what else are you going to do on a Tuesday night, I guess? Watch The Bachelor. Hate I hated the dates. I hated the dates. They were
What
so
were they? I don't
stupid.
even
I don't even
remember.
remember. I just remember going like I think I was online shopping at the same time because,
Perfect.
exactly. Did I watch the Miami reunion or finale or did I already watch that? I might have watched the Miami finale. God, I guess I didn't watch a lot of unscripted. I think that's it. Just the huge. Pretty sure just the huge. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not as disappointed in this Vanderpump season as everyone else. Like, I think what's going on between Sheena and Brock is really interesting.
Oh God, I don't
His
like it at
impatience,
all.
I don't either, but it's not
Yeah.
uncommon that
Nope.
there's a lot of like mental and emotional baggage. I don't know, entrusting your child in anyone's care. And there's a lot of impatience from Brock
Right.
of like, just do the other thing, just do it this way instead. And it's like,
Plus,
ugh.
like, Summer is still really young.
She's
She's a baby. She's a
she's
baby.
yeah, barely
And
talking. Like
I,
she's yeah.
right. I understand that Brock wants his life to get back to what it was pre-kid. FYI, it's not going to fucking happen. Like, it just doesn't fucking happen.
Yeah, because life includes a kid now.
Because
So
life
your
includes a kid now.
pre-kid life
Right.
is
Right.
over. Now there is one. So this is life now,
Right.
Brock.
Finding babysitters, finding childcare that I trust, love, that Leo trusts and love, it's a process that's very daunting to me. I avoid it. My ADHD fucking hates it. Hates, hates, hates. I need to do it. I need to find someone. A lot of our babysitters left during COVID and they were so lovely, but I need to find somebody. Like, it's not okay for anyone else in this house to not have reliable childcare for my kids so that I can go do things with my husband and, we don't have to panic or Rochambeau about who's going to go and who's not going to go. But with everything that Sheena has going on, yeah, the way he handled it, the way Brock handled it was so fucking inappropriate. And
He did apologize though. I also appreciated that
yeah, he
full
did.
circle that he
He
was like,
did.
that
He
was out of
did.
line. I need to listen some more. And to me, that feels like the reality of a real long-term relationship is there are these like explosive moments of impatience. And then if it's a worthwhile relationship, like I appreciated him coming back around. I don't think he's learned anything yet, but it sounds like
Yeah.
at least he knows
Yeah.
that he hurt her and that's not going to solve
That's
anything.
true. You're right. You're right.
While he was wearing a bikini and a flowy robe.
It was yeah, and then she was criticizing him over the way he did laundry, and now shit is pink because he put in something red. It was just too no,
Yeah,
didn't
both of
want
them
to.
were that was just again, it's not about the pink
It
laundry. There's like
no,
a much bigger thing going on,
yeah,
and sometimes
yeah.
it's easier just to yell about pink laundry.
Oh my God, 100%. 100% it is. What was your antidepressant this week?
My antidepressant was, I guess, I mean, it's been my antidepressant before, but it's real. This dance class that I take, it's
Mhm.
in this giant warehouse space. The music is so loud. The teacher is like maybe the nicest man I've ever met in my life. He's
Mm.
so sweet, and he just operates from such a different headspace than I do. Like, the choreography this week was, like, amazing and magical, and the way he teaches it is he's like, "And with these steps, you're walking into the next dimension." And he's, like, really serious about it, and, like, that's how he choreographs. Like, when he
I
hears the
love that.
music, these particular movements, he imagines moving into another dimension, and, like, I don't think like that. I'm very like, again, probably as a result of being an adult child and an alcoholic, I have to live in only reality because I have to be aware of everything that's going on. And this class gives me a chance to like unplug that completely and just like try to take steps that lead me into the next reality. And he's just lovely. And the class was so fun. And a friend of mine came this week and like, it's such a supportive community of people. Like, they know, there's some health stuff going on with my mom, and like they met her when she came to the show back in October, so they ask after her, and it's just like lovely.
Mm.
I don't even know, again, I mentioned it last week, and I stand by it. Like, connection is the opposite of addiction. It's like everything is okay when I'm surrounded by people who know the truth of what's going on in my life, and you know and vice versa. So
Yeah,
it's dance and friends and music and authenticity and love and all the things. So that was my
totally.
antidepressant.
Totally.
How about you?
Let's see. I touched up my caramel pieces and my balayage, which always gives me like I always love that. I got a new set of nails. Every time I look at them, like a little hit of dopamine just goes pew, pew, and it'll happen until they come off. Just everything going into prepping for the auction, like I know that it's a school fundraiser, like an elementary school fundraiser, but I get to be creative. Like every year I do like a little icebreaker that I have to write. So, because I want to get people to like pay attention and get ready to start, raising their paddles to bid on stuff and find a way that we can all kind of like laugh and get rid of I want to get rid of the tension that I'm holding up there. Like it's scary to talk in front of 100 to 150 people, but it's also like I love doing it. So that is really, it's going to be really fun. Like, I can't wait to do my hair and do my makeup and show up. And I have my note cards and
I mean, I consider it like you have a show this weekend.
yeah.
So, like, it's all of those things.
Hmm.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun. I love my husband's outfit that he's going to wear. I love my outfit. It was really fun to put it together. And yeah, it's going to be also like a night out. The school
That'll be
fundraiser is
nice.
going to be a night out.
Listen,
So, yeah, it's quasi simple things that were. Oh, and I did ketamine at home last night, and while it did not get super psychedelic like at all, which is interesting. I'm not sure why. When I was done, shit felt more right sized. So, it works even if it doesn't, even if it's not like super fun while I'm on it. It does what it's supposed to do. So that's a literal antidepressant.
amazing.
Yep.
Sorry, the trash truck is here.
I
It's
didn't
like,
even hear
that's
it,
oh, good.
honestly.
I'm like, that's how we know we've reached the end, is the garbage truck is here.
Oh my God. Well, everyone, thanks for hanging in at our extra. Well, I guess it's like only like 20 minutes longer than it usually is. You know what? No, it's hovering around the real time. Who
It's probably
cares?
20 minutes of reunion content, and then the rest is
Right.
us just
And then the
talking
rest
about
is other
other shit.
stuff. Again, rate, review, subscribe, please. And I hope everyone has a great week. Margie, I hope you have a great week. I'm sure I'll talk to you later on today, but
Yes, and I hope
yeah.
you have a great weekend. I can't wait to hear about,
Thank you,
yeah,
friend.
the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody take good care of yourselves, and we'll talk next week.
Yeah, we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Ramona and Margie are, obviously, not doctors and do not provide medical advice. Their content is intended to be used for entertainment purposes only. It is not intended to be, should not be interpreted as, or used as a substitute for medical advice or a diagnosis of any health or fitness problem, condition, or disease, nor a recommendation for a specific test, doctor, care provider, procedure, treatment plan, product, or course of action.
My mom isn't a doctor.